Howdy, partners! Welcome to our ranch where the spirit of the Old West is alive and well. Today we're diving into a culinary journey that will take you straight to the heart of cowboy country. So, saddle up and get ready for a taste of the frontier. Get ready for a culinary adventure. We're about to embark on a journey that combines the rugged charm of the Wild West with the comfort of a home-cooked meal. Imagine the aroma of sizzling steak, the sound of a crackling fire, and the taste of a dish that's been perfected over generations. Today, we're rustling up a true Western classic ranch-style steak. This isn't just any steak. It's a dish that embodies the spirit of the ranch. From the moment you lay eyes on that raw, marbled beauty, you'll know you're in for something special. This ain't your fancy steakhouse cut. No, sir. This is a steak that's been seasoned with love and cooked to perfection in a rustic kitchen. It's the kind of meal that brings people together, that makes you feel at home no matter where you are. This is good old-fashioned comfort food, the kind that warms your heart and fills your belly. Picture a hearty meal served on a rustic table, surrounded by friends and family, with laughter and stories filling the air. That's what ranch-style steak is all about. It's a dish that's as satisfying as a sunset over the prairie. Just like the sun setting over the open plains, this steak brings a sense of peace and contentment. It's a reminder of simpler times, of wide-open spaces, and of the joy of a well-cooked meal. So grab your aprons and let's get cooking. Whether you're a seasoned chef or a kitchen novice, this recipe is easy to follow and guaranteed to impress. We'll walk you through each step, from selecting the perfect cut of meat to achieving that perfect sear. This recipe is perfect for a weeknight meal. It's quick to prepare, but it doesn't skimp on flavor. In no time at all, you'll have a delicious, satisfying meal that's sure to become a family favorite. Plus, it's versatile enough to be served on any occasion. It's quick and easy to make. With just a few simple ingredients and some basic cooking techniques, you'll be able to whip up a meal that's both impressive and delicious. We'll show you how to get that perfect balance of juicy, tender meat and a crispy, flavorful crust. Plus, it's a real crowd pleaser. Whether you're cooking for your family, hosting a dinner party, or just treating yourself, ranch-style steak is sure to be a hit. It's a dish that brings people together, that creates memories, and that leaves everyone wanting more. Ranch-style steak is known for its incredible flavor. The combination of juicy, tender meat and a perfectly seasoned crust is simply irresistible. Each bite is a burst of flavor, a taste of the Wild West that will leave you craving more. It's juicy and tender, with a crispy, seasoned crust. The secret to this dish lies in the seasoning and the cooking technique. We'll show you how to achieve that perfect balance so every bite is a delight. We'll show you how to make it just right. From selecting the best cut of meat to mastering the cooking process, we've got you covered. So, let's get started and bring a taste of the ranch to your kitchen. Happy cooking, partners! Ranch-style steak has a rich history. This iconic dish, known for its robust flavors and hearty portions, has roots that stretch back to the rugged days of the American frontier. It was a time when cowboys roamed the vast open plains, driving cattle across the country. These hardworking men needed sustenance that was not only filling, but also easy to prepare with the limited resources they had on hand. Thus, the ranch-style steak was born out of necessity and ingenuity. It originated on the cattle ranches of the American West. These sprawling ranches were home to thousands of cattle, and the cowboys who tended them. The landscape was harsh and unforgiving, with long days spent herding cattle under the scorching sun or through torrential rain. The cowboys' diet had to be simple yet nourishing, and meat was a staple. Beef, being readily available, became the cornerstone of their meals. Cowboys needed a hearty meal after a long day of work. After hours of riding, roping, and wrangling, they would gather around the campfire, sharing stories and laughter. The campfire was not just a place to cook, it was the heart of their temporary home, a place of camaraderie and respite. The smell of sizzling steak over the open flames was a welcome reward for their hard labor. They cooked their steaks over an open fire. This method of cooking was not only practical, but also imparted a unique, smoky flavor to the meat. The open flames and cast-iron skillets were the tools of choice, and the simplicity of the ingredients allowed the natural flavors of the beef to shine through. Seasoned with just salt and pepper, the steaks were cooked to perfection, with a charred exterior and a juicy, tender interior. The result was a flavorful and satisfying dish. Each bite was a testament to the cowboys' resourcefulness and their ability to create something delicious from the most basic of ingredients. The ranch-style steak became a symbol of the cowboy way of life, embodying the spirit of the American West. Ranch-style steak is typically made with a tougher cut of beef. These cuts, such as chuck or round steak, were often overlooked by others but were perfect for the cowboys. They were affordable and with the right cooking techniques could be transformed into a tender and flavorful meal. This is like a chuck or round steak. These cuts come from the shoulder and hindquarters of the cow, areas that are well exercised and therefore tougher. However, they are also rich in flavor and, when cooked slowly over low heat, become incredibly tender. Cowboys used what they had on hand. Their cooking tools were basic, often just a cast-iron skillet and a sharp knife. They relied on the natural flavors of the beef and the smoky aroma from the campfire to create a meal that was both simple and satisfying. The ingenuity of these early cooks laid the foundation for what would become a beloved culinary tradition. These tougher cuts become tender and flavorful with the right cooking method. Slow cooking over an open flame or in a cast-iron skillet allows the connective tissues in the meat to break down, resulting in a steak that is both juicy and full of flavor. The key is patience and the right amount of seasoning. We'll show you how to get it just right. In the following segments, we'll dive into the techniques and tips that will help you recreate this classic dish in your own kitchen. From selecting the right cut of beef to mastering the art of open-fire cooking, you'll learn everything you need to know to make a perfect ranch-style steak. So, grab your apron and let's get started on this culinary journey through the heart of the American West. Now let's gather our ingredients. You'll need a few simple things to make this delicious dish. For a truly authentic ranch-style steak, you'll want to use ranch-style steak. Look for a 1-inch thick cut. About 1 pound will do. Salt and pepper. Seasoning is key. Flour. This helps create a nice crust. Oil. Use a high-heat oil like canola or vegetable oil. That's it. See? I told you it was simple. Now that you have your ingredients, let's move on to the fun part. Cooking. Before we start cooking, let's prepare our steak. First, pat it dry with paper towels. This helps it brown nicely. Now, sprinkle both sides generously with salt and pepper. Don't be shy, seasoning is your friend. Next, dredge the steak in flour. Coat it evenly on both sides, shake off any excess flour. This flour coating will create a delicious crust when we sear the steak. Section 5, the sizzle begins, pan-searing your ranch-style steak. This is where the magic happens, transforming a simple cut of meat into a mouth-watering masterpiece. Now it's time to heat things up. Start by turning the stove to medium-high heat. This is crucial because you want the pan to be hot enough to sear the steak quickly, locking in all those delicious juices. Place a large skillet over medium-high heat. A cast-iron skillet is ideal for this because it retains heat well and distributes it evenly, ensuring a perfect sear. Add about 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan. You can use vegetable oil, canola oil, or any oil with a high smoke point. Avoid using butter at this stage as it can burn at high temperatures. Let the oil get nice and hot. This step is essential because placing the steak in cold oil will cause it to stick and not sear properly. You'll know it's ready when it shimmers. The shimmering indicates that the oil is hot enough to create that perfect sear. Carefully place the steak in the hot oil. Be cautious to avoid any splatters. The steak should sizzle immediately upon contact with the pan. Listen for that satisfying sizzle. This sound is a good indicator that the steak is searing properly, creating a flavorful crust. Sear the steak for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Resist the urge to move it around too much. Let it sit and develop that beautiful crust. You want a beautiful golden brown crust. This crust is where much of the flavor comes from. Don't overcrowd the pan. Overcrowding will lower the pan's temperature and cause the steak to steam rather than sear. If you're cooking more than one steak, do them in batches. This ensures each steak gets the attention it deserves and sears perfectly. Once seared, you can finish cooking the steaks in the oven if they are particularly thick, or let them rest for a few minutes before serving to allow the juices to redistribute. Section 6. The Art of Rest. Letting your steak reach its peak. Once your steak is seared to perfection, it's time for a little patience. Remove the steak from the pan, place it on a plate and cover it loosely with foil. Don't skip this step. Resting the steak allows the juices to redistribute. This ensures a tender and juicy bite every time. Let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. While it's resting, you can whip up some delicious sides. We'll get to those in a bit. Section 7. Slicing and serving, presenting your ranch-style masterpiece. Our steak has had its beauty rest. Now it's time to slice and serve. Remove the foil and place the steak on a cutting board. Using a sharp knife, slice the steak against the grain. This helps keep it tender. Slice it as thin or thick as you like. Arrange the slices on a platter and get ready to dig in. Section 8. Sides that sing, completing the ranch-style experience. No ranch-style steak is complete without some classic sides. Mashed potatoes are a must-have. Their creamy texture pairs perfectly with the savory steak. Don't forget a generous drizzle of gravy. Green beans add a pop of color and freshness to the plate. You can sauté them with a little garlic for extra flavor. And for a true taste of the West, serve it all with some warm, buttery biscuits. Section 9. Saddle up and cook. Your ranch-style adventure awaits. There you have it, folks. A taste of the Wild West in your own kitchen. Ranch-style steak is a hearty and satisfying meal. It's perfect for any occasion. With its simple ingredients and easy-to-follow steps, you'll be a ranch-style steak pro in no time. So gather your ingredients and get cooking. Don't forget to share your culinary creations with me on social media. Happy trails and happy eating!